that sword and defeat King Arthur with it, you shall forever be the worst of knights, slayer of kings.
Guess I can't be the hero every time.
Hey there everyone, this is Ray Carso for Classic Game Room, and today we are looking at the second chapter of the Sonic Storybook series with Sonic and the Black Knight for the Nintendo Wii. While lounging around eating chili dogs one day, our favorite blue hedgehog is magically teleported to the land of Camelot by Merlina, the granddaughter of the famed wizard Merlin, as she is ambushed by the evil Black Knight and his netherworld cronies. After chowing down, Sonic easily dispatches the knight's minions, but is warned by Merlina that he cannot hope to take down the Black Knight, who she reveals is in reality the great King Arthur, and that as long as he holds the Scabbard of Excalibur, he is immortal. And so Sonic must embark on a quest to once again save a classic storybook world from a dark scourge that now plagues the land, and find a way to even the odds with the Black Knight. Most of the 3D Sonic games have had problems over the years, but Sonic and the Black Knight is probably one of the worst of the bunch, only being edged out by Shadow the Hedgehog for worst Sonic game ever. As if Sega didn't learn their lesson from that GameCube abomination, they once again decide that a weapon would make sense in the hands of a hedgehog. This time, instead of automatic rifles, at least it's just a sword that talks. The reason why this weapon is such a disgrace to this iconic character is that instead of being a supplement, it acts as his entire offense, replacing his traditional pouncing on foes and homing attacks. And the worst part of it is that if you should decide to play further and further into the game, you realize that the sword is simply a way for Sega to force you to shake your Wiimote. Bottom line, folks, that's right, they got waggle happy. At first, before the whole waggling thing started, I was pleased with the controls, compared to those found in Sonic and the Secret Rings anyways, the first chapter of the storybook series, since Sega went with the more comfortable Wiimote nunchuck combo this time around, instead of holding the Wiimote sideways and using the gyroscopic tilt motion to move Sonic. Assigning jumping to A, blocking with Z, and being able to stop Sonic's on-rails motion through the levels with the control stick makes moving through the levels a lot smoother and faster compared to Secret Rings. But using the waggle motion to swing the sword and attack just seemed so unnecessary, when it would have been so much easier to just assign a lock-on to B and to press A again after jumping to wipe out your foes. This unnecessary obsession with waggle would often break the grooves you'd find yourself in when racing through the levels, and let's remember folks, when it comes down to it, Sonic is meant to be played fast in both pace and gameplay. The bells and whistles included in this game, like collectibles you can unlock and then gift to your friends and their Miis, an abridged history of the legend of King Arthur, and score leaderboards, are not enough to save this game. Another atrocity this game brings into the Sonic series is its versus multiplayer. Now normally, as everyone knows, I am a fan of multiplayer. Huge fan of it. But unless it's a racing scenario, it really doesn't belong in Sonic to me, and the fact that it has a deathmatch is a big no-no. Honestly, I think my anger stems more from my disappointment. They didn't even include Dr. Robotnik in this game as one of the mythical characters, marking it as his only absence from the entire history of Sonic. Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, and others all make appearances in some form or another, like Shadow as Lancelot. But to leave out Eggman was low. When I heard they were making a storybook sequel, I couldn't have been more excited, especially considering they chose one of the all-time classic legends to base it on. But when you get past the surface stuff like the great mix of 2D storybook cutscenes and fully animated 3D ones, and some great voice acting once again from all those involved, and quite simply, this is just veered too far off course from what makes the Sonic games great. And that's without even mentioning the game's plot holes, or the lack of a challenge, as you'll probably be able to blow through most of the story mode in a single playthrough. Overall, maybe we'd be better off if this game just got teleported to a different dimension itself, so this way maybe gamers could just forget about it ever even existing. Steer clear of Sonic and the Black Knight for the Wii, if at all possible.
Just as I was saying. Oh yeah? Well, I guess it's time to stop playing around. You're going to have to do better than that to defeat me.